Okay, so welcome to the another video tutorial, and in this particular tutorial we are going to see how we can install Cyberpanel. Okay, so without wasting time, let's get started. So first thing you need to do is you need to open the browser in which you are logged in into the cloud provider's account. Okay, so in my case I'm using DigitalOcean, but you can use anything like Linode and AWS, whatever, but I'm going to stick with the DigitalOcean because DigitalOcean is offering $200 free credit. If you want to check it, you can check link in the description. So without wasting time, let's go ahead and click on create and create droplet. Okay, so on DigitalOcean they call server droplet, so droplet server is the same thing. So next thing I need to do is select the region. I'm going to select Bangalore as I'm in India, then OS as the Ubuntu, and in the version I'm going to select 20.04 LTS. Okay, so why I'm selecting 20.01 LTS? Because I have tried Cyberpanel with the all of these versions, and it seems that both of these 22.04 and 23.04 have some libraries missing. Okay, so because of that, some of the functionality of the Cyberpanel is limited, like hosting the Django app, etc. Right? So that's why what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick with the 20.04. Then in the plan I'm going to choose regular and $12 plan. As I'm recording, so I don't need any higher specs here, and that's why I'm going to choose the $12 plan. Once it is done, you can enter the password or you can use SSH key. If you have experience with SSH key, go ahead with SSH key. So most of you might be the beginner, so I'm going to stick with the password. So once you enter the password, go ahead, and at the end, as you can see, there is a name. Okay, so I'm going to add the name as a test because I'm doing the test. Then create droplet. So as you can see, this server is ready. So let's go ahead and copy the IP address of the server and open the terminal. Okay, so right now I'm in the Linux, that's why I'm opening the terminal. But if you are using the Windows, then you can stick with the CMD, and if for Mac, obviously the terminal is already available. So let's make terminal a little bit bigger, make text visible, and do SSH login into the server. For this you need to do SSH root at IP address. Okay, so in case you are not using DigitalOcean, you are using AWS, you might need to enter the Ubuntu user right here. Okay, so in my case I'm using DigitalOcean, so that's why I'm entering the root. Once it is done, click on the enter and type yes here, and then type the password to enter into the server. So once you type password, as you can see, I am inside this server. So let's go ahead and clear everything from the screen. So remember this thing, that whenever we create a new server, we do two things first. First is apt update and another is apt upgrade, right? So update is basically updating the repository to the latest, and apt upgrade is upgrading the packages to the latest version. And when I add -y at the end, that means it will not ask for the confirmation. So let's enter, and it is started upgrading the packages. So during the installation, it might be possible that you will get pop-up like this. You just need to hit the enter, and there will be another pop-up for service restart. So for that also, just keep the default option and click on the enter. Okay, so as you can see, the upgradation process has been completed. So let's clear the screen and let's start installation process of the Cyberpanel. Okay, so for the installation, you need to paste this particular command. I will add this command in the video description so that you can copy from there. Once you type this particular command, just hit enter and it will start the install of the Cyberpanel. It will ask a bunch of questions to configure the Cyberpanel during the installation. Okay, so let's wait for questions. Okay, right now it is showing that would you like to install Cyberpanel. So select first and go ahead. Then there is a Cyberpanel with Open Lightspeed and Cyberpanel with Lightspeed Enterprise. So Lightspeed Enterprise is the enterprise version, which is obviously paid. So we are going to stick with the first one, Open Lightspeed. Then there is a service option available. So by default, Cyberpanel installs all of the services such as Power DNS, Postfix, and Pure FTPD. If you don't want it, just hit the N and click the enter. Otherwise, you can just hit enter. By default, the answer is yes. Okay. Then there is a remote SQL. Okay, so by default, Cyberpanel is creating MySQL server on this particular VPS. But if you want to use the same exact database from MySQL server from outside server, like some other server, right? Basically, if you want to use the Cyberpanel as a remote database, then in that case you need to enter the Y here. Otherwise, you can just keep the N here. Then there is a selection of the version. I'm just going to stick with the latest version, so I will just enter, and by default it will take latest version. Then there is a password set for admin login. By default password is 1227, and if you want to set the password, it will set the password. I'm just going to select the R option, which is random. That means it will generate random password during the installation, and after the installation it will give me the password that system has generated. So I will just select the R and then I will hit the enter. Then there is a memcache process. So this particular process is being used by WordPress websites to in order to fasten the WordPress website speed. So I'm just going to stick with the default option, which is yes. Then again, same thing with the Redis can be used websites like WordPress or Django in order to fasten the processor or use as a database. So let's keep the by default option, which is yes, and click on the enter, and it should start installation process immediately. The installation process might take a little bit longer, so what I'm going to do is, the installation process is already started, so I'll just pause video right here, and once the installation process is complete, then I will resume the video. Okay, so right now the Cyberpanel installation has been completed, and here are the details. Okay, so it is giving the endpoint where we can access the Cyberpanel. Obviously it's a server IP colon port number 80 and port number 8090. Then there is a username and then there is a password. So in the installation process, if you have selected the default password, then it will not show your password right here. The default password is 12345667, and if you have chose the set password option, then also it will not show the password here. You need to enter the password that you have typed there, right? And if you are choosing the random password, then only you will get the password right here. Okay, then there are some details regarding the port information of the Cyberpanel. So if you are planning to use the firewall, then you need to open these particular ports. Okay, so once installation is done, it will ask, would you like to reboot the server now? Okay, so I will say yes, because rebooting server after installation is recommended. If there is any mismatch between version, libraries, etc., then we will see the issue immediately and we can fix that issue before it results in the bigger issue, right? So let's go ahead, minimize this. Meanwhile, the server is booting up. So server boot process hardly take 15 to 20 seconds. Once it is done, what you can do is you can paste this particular access point in here. Okay, so where you got the access point, obviously in the previous details right here. Make sure you are saving these particular details. Okay, so let me go ahead and open the access point and click enter. So right now it is showing not secure because it is using self-signed certificate, but it's secured for you at least, right? So let's click on the advanced, then proceed on the unsafe, and then enter the admin here because the username is admin here, and the password is from our terminal. So let's go ahead and copy this particular password. Let me minimize it, enter the password and hit enter. So this is how we can install the Cyberpanel, right? In next video I will give you overview of the Cyberpanel. I will explain each and every part of the Cyberpanel so that you will have clear understanding of what the Cyberpanel is and what are the services that are available on the Cyberpanel and what are the configuration that can be done on Cyberpanel, right? So that's all for this particular video, and thanks for watching and see you in the next.